to you by
Rock Boom Energy Drink. Feel the positive energy.
Well, it's the top of the hour. Of course, it's the time. This is the moment when you always get to see your number one program show, that is Speed Racer. And of course, this is the time. The date today is the 27th day of May. And of course, we are waving bye-bye to the month of May and so much ready to go. And the other months that are coming ahead of us. And of course, I'm Frank Hayes to present to the show. I'm just so much proud that I'm sponsored by none other than your number one energy drink, that is Rock Boom. Rock Boom is a product of Harris International. And of course, they are the branders of other products like Reham WhatsApp, we talk about Reham Fun Time, anything to mention. If you don't want the energy drink, then definitely you can go for the other soft drinks, which are products of Harris International. Well, today we are going to be a little bit more fast as we get to see. You know, the revs are so much. The talk of the cars is already doing a disservice to the the environment around Bomber Grounds, and of course we have no excuse. This is our day, and we need to make it over to the extreme that you guys get to excitedly see your stars. Those who have been always at the internet inquiring to see who is who, of course, probably when you find me and I'm down after the high tempos in the cockpit, then just tip me by and then probably I'll let you see who is your star. And you may be, for the first time, those who have not seen me, seeing me in the cockpit, you get a chance to have a glance and see. And just mark the car, Rock Boom car, Rock Boom sponsored car is the crew that are going to be riding over the weekend, all out into the Sunday climax. And of course, as we get to start our segment, we get to get off with straight away with learning from the star. And of course, this time, many of you have had the contemporary debates coming at your moments of argument saying that probably rally cars are not safe. But I would love to take you through and see how safe a rally car or a rally roll cage can be to the crews on board. And of course, we always do this as Kwesi to make you feel and get to understand different sport activities. And of course, you get to know the safest and the safe moment. And of course, we don't read it out. We've always done a cohesive campaign that has always called for people's attention and attention to detail, where you need to always be vigilant. As you, a spectator, keep a distance, at least 50 meters from the restaurant. 50 meters from the rest route, and definitely we want you live as we keep cheering us. Let's get to see and learn from the stars, and we get to be educated how safe a rally cage can be to an onboard team.
Let me tell you, I'm passionate about motorsport safety. In fact, I sit on a board of AIMS, which is the Australian Institute of Motorsport Safety. And recently they teamed up with the FIA Institute, which is the world governing body, to send a V8 supercar to the other side of the world, to Frankfurt, to run it down a runway to have a look at some issues regarding side intrusion. Now, the car they sent was the Paul Wheel car that was crashed at Bathurst in 08, kindly rebuilt by Paul, well done. And what they were looking at is some side intrusion stuff, which is really cars coming into the driver's door and driver protection. Now, there's been some great innovations in current years. If you look here, a modern car, apart from all this nice chromoly bar work, gusseting, some of them run a nice carbon energy absorbing panel through here. The big one for me is the seat now sits about 200 or 300 mil inboard. Look at this gap here for protection. Your steering wheel's over, your pedal's over. But I want you to have a look at this vision. This is outstanding stuff and shows the lengths that they'll go to get this sort of research information. Now let me just say, at the moment, when you look at this car deforming, there it is in slow-mo, you wouldn't find a circuit anywhere that you could actually run absolutely square on into an immovable object like this. Again, this is done for creating an imprint of the forces of that car. So the chassis rails, the engine, all of that stuff has left an imprint on that wall. And if you have a look in this next shot, you might even be able to see the wall. It's actually made up of 100 by 100 millimetre load cells. So as the car goes into it, there it is, they actually get data from that to create the information they need. Now what they'll do from this test is they'll actually go and build a little trolley, and that trolley will replicate the forces that that car has put into the wall so then they can use that trolley for further research without having to use cars. And look at this, they actually have a glass floor underneath the car so they can see what's happening with the gearbox, the engine. Now as we get the up close shot from underneath the car, you can see the different components of the car. Look at that, very specifically leaving a print and that important data on different parts of the wall. The fascinating thing for me is that research test was not about the car or the dummy inside it. It was purely about leaving that fingerprint of forces on that wall so further research can be done.
Well, that is what we say. At Quest, we entertain you, educate you, and of course, we inform you on all respective issues that encompass in the show, that is motorsport. And of course, we are proud that we are actually taking the edge in Africa. We are not only putting our foot in Uganda, but we've already covered 18 countries on the continent. Talk about our neighbors in Rwanda, and of course, Rwanda Reloaded. Mountain of Gorilla Rally, I'll be coming down, doing it in there. And of course, just keep away in October. Rwanda, I'm on my way coming. And of course, down in September, maybe I'm still contemplating if I could run down to the Rally of Tanzania that is coming on Exton Brock, and I'll plan and see how Speed Racer with the whole well-set team running down to give you the best all around. And of course, you may have seen, we don't pride on nothing, but of course, we went ahead and gave you the best treat of the Safari Rally this year. And of course, we can proud that we were one of the TVs that went extra miles to give you the onboard and outside competition that was shown in the Safari. And that is from learning from the star. That's the safest way you can have your rally car. We've gone as far much, the expert was explaining, showing you the impact, the force when it comes to cohesion, how the car bodies can go parting, but of course the roll cage, as the person where is seated, stays intact. And from there we go today in rewind or in history. We look at the 1997 Indianapolis, that is the Indianapolis, that is 500 race. And of course, we're so much stretching this because a Formula One champion is actually racing this very weekend. Tomorrow is Sunday. He's going to be in action. He's actually skipping the Monaco Grand Prix to get into his first attempt in the Endurance 500 Las Vegas, I beg your pardon, the Las Vegas event. That is going to see Fernando Alonso, the McLaren driver, get to give an attempt of his. And of course, the good beauty of it, I saw him priding on his social media handle, saying, yes, I'm adding another toy to my backyard, which is having a number of vintage cars. And of course, probably he's not only racing for glory and prestige, but of course, he's also going to handsomely earn a whole vehicle. After racing, it's just going to be driven at his backyard. Well, we will see him. Actually, we wait to see how it happens. Let's get to see the history, how it has been happening since 1997. The Indianapolis 500, that is a Part 10 post event. That's the post race. Let's get to see in the history today.
Into victory lane, and Ari, that white flag, green flag situation startled you and a lot of people.
Well, good thing I was running in, I don't remember what gear, but I just went down one gear and it picked up real nice. And then the light went back yellow, but I just kept going. I said, the hell, if they don't know what they're doing, I better just keep doing what I've been doing. So I just want to thank Treadway, Mr. Treadway, Fred. I haven't seen him yet, for a great team. My engineer, Tim Wardrop, Skip Fall, the guys.
This is a special victory for this team as well, because you were some of the first supporters of the Indy Racing League, and last year you set 235 mile-an-hour plus laps, not good enough for the pole. Then you go out and you think you were going to win, and that wasn't good enough because of Eliseo Salazar, but you're here now.
I'm here now, and that was count. Fred Treadway put a great effort in. I mean, we have the best team. We got the best guys on the crew, and you couldn't ask for more as a race car driver.
Any better than last year, than 1990?
Yeah, it's been a long time ago. This is a lot better. Thank you.
Let's go back to the tower.
All right, here's exactly what they were talking about. There is the light. See it down in the corner. They're coming to the start-finish line for the restart. The race has started. Now look up at the top of the screen for the flagman. He's already waving, but the light is yellow. That's the controversy. That's the confusion. And unfortunately, Scott Goodyear is caught in it again.
Scott Goodyear talking to an assembly of media folks down here. Scott, they really worked hard, and
it really made the car come back. We were really fighting at the beginning. We went backwards at the beginning. So we fought all day long. We did a lot of good stops. Engineering and that sort of thing was really good. We were strong. We just had a little bit too much.
Scott, for this national audience, can you tell us now about this controversy on the restart? What you saw? Were you aware you were going green with a lap to go?
Absolutely not. I thought we were going to finish underneath that. We didn't have any indication at all. I had no indication on the radio. And unfortunately, we came down, and then my guy yelled to me, green, green, green. And we were still in yellow fuel. We didn't have the acceleration. And that is the key lap of the whole race, obviously, because you want to get a draft. You want to get the guy going into the next turn and lead coming down the straight. So,
did you think you had any chance of getting him had you known it was going green?
Well, I probably would have been on the gas a lot sooner than what I was. And, you know, I don't think he really even expected it. And the end result, obviously, is I'm not sure if we would have or not, but we had a lot of drag in the car to run all day to get through the traffic. But, you know, overall, a 1-2 finish for Treadway and Northern Telecom. So, I mean, that's a bonus. But
Scott Goodyear for the second time in recent years in major controversy at the finish, Paul.
Celebration in Victory Lane, the Valvoline race summary. There it is. Ari Luyendyk, unofficially the winner of the Indy 500 at an average speed 145 miles an hour. 7 liters, 16 changes in what was a great race. The final standings, they are unofficial until later in the day, but it's Luyendyk, Goodyear. You look down the order. Controversy at the front once again. Jeff Ward, the rookie, with a fabulous, fabulous run. So the Indianapolis 500 81st version is now complete. I'm Paul Page. So long from Indianapolis. General Hospital is coming.
Well, that is the Indianapolis. Of course, we found it calling that we get to let you know and let you informed about how this has existed in way back years. And of course, this is now 2 decades away. 2 decades away since. And of course, you see the kind of organization. I've just made a sneak in at the speeds that were made by the winner. It was so amazing. And you can imagine the kind of modification under these cars have gone through to the current toys of cars that are racing on the Indianapolis 500. Of course, we'll look forward to seeing Fernando Alonso making his maiden attempt. And one of the complaints he made in the week after qualifying on pole in the first practice was definitely when he said the overboost in the turns might cost him a pole position in the Andreas Ambres race that is coming over on the 28th. That is on Sunday tomorrow, as we get to see him race. Well, he said probably, I don't know, I believe his technical team might work out on that and see that he doesn't get overboostings in the turns that he says might get him off and cost him a pole position on his maiden attempt at the Indianapolis 500. Well, as we get to see an action-packed weekend, it's a sad moment of announcement that the world is now currently mourning a renowned MotoGP Respo Honda rider. Respo Honda was a teammate to Ross, one of the renowned MotoGP stars. He passed on as Tuesday early morning, and it was a sad moment that he went to his Lord. We live to celebrate his life, and of course, guess what? He was hit. Can you imagine? He never lost a life when riding on a racetrack, but of course, finally he's hit on his millionaire. I call it a million bike because it costs 112,000 pounds. You can imagine, those who know a little bit of mathematics, calculate how much that bike is costing. But just a cycling bike. 12,000 pounds, that's in the millions of Ugandan shillings. And it's at the moment that we lost a youngster in making 35 years of age. And the world is currently still mourning his demise. And of course, it's a sad moment to the family. And he was born in 1981. He passed on in this year, that is on Tuesday. That is on the night, actually the breaking morning of 22, that was on the breaking morning of 23rd of May. And of course, Nick Hayden, a 2006 MotoGP champion, has tragically, he passed on at 35 years old age. And riding and racing motorcycles was the life of his long passion for Nick Hayden. And he was born in Owensboro, that's Kentucky, in 1981 to the mother called Elle and the dad called Elle and Rose Hayden. And both that track riders were both actually, he inherited the riding skills or the riding talent from his parents and was on the bike at the age of 3. Can you imagine? 3 years of age, the young man had started riding, trying his skills of riding. And he was 5 as he started racing against the older brothers, Tommy and Roger Lee Hayden, on a home track that was in Arno Hayden property. You see how much these parents put in a lot, and of course this gives me a refresh of the likes of the Oran racing team that have been raised from scratch, and you see the age at which they are starting riding. And this young foreign, 35-year former world-renowned MotoGP rider, he was a boy. He quickly, in his oracles, they indicate that he quickly moved into the mini bike racing, and then later in the 125S, moving through a club racing scene, and he was knocking on the door of the AMA, that is the world famous race. And when he turned 16 midway through the 1997 season, he was then turned professional and ran a satellite bike at AMA 750. That is, that guy has been putting on his bike 69. He's one of the elite riders the world has ever raised. Talk about the Marquez of this world, the Ross and Respro Honda. They live to celebrate his life. And over that, second after in the beat of the same line of his history, finishing second in 2002 and third in 2001. Sorry, 2002, I beg your pardon. He finished second in 2000 and 2001. He was third, and Hayden breaking through year was in 2002. He added his 600 success by becoming the youngest ever AMA Superbike champ, as he was winning the prestigious Daytona 200 and mixing it with the top riders in the World Supercross Wildcard appearance and Laguna Senna. Well, we live to celebrate his life, and as the world keeps mourning, I thought we could have a scroll down of his the Twitter handles that have been indicating his life as a rider, and the world has continued to get to mourn him. As we shall let you updated on how the legend will be rested, and we may wish his soul to rest in peace. We hope we get to see other champions come race. Of course, we live to celebrate the lives of the fallen champs, as in we shall live to celebrate your life. And Nicky Hayden. Away from the Nicky, we go straight away to the WRC. It was an action-packed weekend, and I was amazed. I was really amazed on how the whole action was unfolding from day one to day two. And of course, as you may see, that is one of the spectacular stretching stages of the Royal of Portugal. That has hilariously left many people wondering of how they survived that kind of flying and the flipping of the cars. And one of the people, the drivers that did survive, was a WRC2 driver, that's Gilbert. He nose-dived in that fly, actually in the jump, and guess what? The car had to flip and almost turn to nothing. And of course, this costed a few hours of the rally, that it was held for more than an hour to have the clear of that stage. And of course, it was seen to run down. And going ahead in the chase from behind is the German, the earlier 2017 opener winner, that is Sebastian Ogier, the defending world champion, went ahead and repicked his form, and of course he picked from the day two winner, that is Old Tanak. Old Tanak had his Demisi, actually mechanical glancings that costed him, and the earlier person who had drawn the first blood in the whole the Royal of Portugal was of course Hayden Paddon. Put up something spirited battle, come to Jari Rativera, the Gazzo racing team driver, also had a little bit of more problem. Chris Mickey also shared a little bit of a win in some stages, similar prize to teammate Stephen Leffens, who had a very big bang off that he never saw his other race diamond run. That costed him a lot. And currently moving on, the Citroen Abu Dhabi racing team is adding another driver, that is former Volkswagen driver Anders Mikkelsen, who is currently racing in the WRC2 category in the Ford Skoda F5, actually R5, and we are seeing him join team, and this will make the number of drivers racing under Citroen Abu Dhabi. That's the car, that is the Gilbert car that I was telling you about. It flipped, and of course, as in with a good reinforcement of the roll cage, this safely came out, and I thought it was amazing. You know, the driver coming out of the driver's seat saying, hey, I've lost my rally. My rally's ended here and just looked on amazingly, looked at the car. And there, as you're seeing on the screen, the navigator was trying to put up a warning signal to the guys who are coming on board as we get to see them get to try their best. That was what happened in Portugal. Of course, another action-packed, I'll not so much say much about it, is the Monaco Grand Prix. And the Monaco Grand Prix is on this very Sunday. We shall give you tweets, and those who can follow Speed Racer, as it's now live streaming. You can as well follow me on the WhatsApp link. I'll keep you posted. I'll find time off my busy schedule in the cockpit in the Mountain of the Moon Rally. I know it's a very big event that is under my budget that I need to see through and see myself getting into the breakthrough. And I know I have a lot of big challenge. I know my rally is not done yet. Today may be just a small rust shed off at Bomber Ground, but the whole rally proper is Sunday tomorrow. And those who want to feel the real nitty-gritty of the whole action with the young crew of Rock Boom sponsored crew, then just settle nowhere nearer, but you just even go in the early stage. That is going to be tomorrow morning. That will be the Maberega Nyinamwiru, which is 12 kilometers. That's actually, but those who want to watch, either you can do, let me try to be a little bit educative on this. If you want to watch the early section, get Kasese Road, brake at the right turn at the road that is cutting to go to Nyakashura High School. And from Nyakashura, you don't go to the gate of the school, you drop down. There's a drop down there, which has a small river crossing. There's a good airpin. A good airpin is in the distance of like 5 kilometers from start. You'll be able to see this car as they get to rope to the upraise of the mountain with the rocky mountain. And the EFF for the Maberega Nyinamwiru is going to be at the prisons. The prisons is just like 2 kilometers from the main or from the prisons. That's where the FF is going to be. And if you want to watch, you just need to be there. Don't go in the stages. Just stop where the airstrip is immediately after the prisons headquarters. Then park there, walk. It's a walkable distance. You don't need to intercept the cars. It's just a walkable distance. And you walk there, you'll be able to see the first stage loop. And of course, you need to calculate if you want even to see the second one, because we are going to do 2 loops before service. That is, we are going to do Maberega Nyinamwiru, then we go to Renzori Commodities. That is the first tea plantation after Mpanga River. You turn right, and of course, you just need to park your car at the side of the road. It's a walkable distance. You can't see the TC when the cars are starting. Then you move quick and go to the FF. The FF is at the Renzori Commodities factory, tea factory. You also don't need, and of course I know, they won't accept guys drive cars in. It's just a foot walking into the stage of the FF. It's 12, actually it's something like, the earlier one was 14 and this one is like 12.2. You just need to walk in there and watch your car. The service is just in the proximity, nearby. After the Renzori Commodities factory, tea factory, the service on the same side, it's just there. But of course, your fans who are wanting to watch, you don't need to go there. Immediately after there, you just get yourself set for the stage, which is the nearest, which is Gota, which has an FF. And you need to follow up all this because I can't give you all the in-depth of the details. You just need to follow up all this on my Speed Racer link. I will definitely keep you posted and keep you the itinerary. And please adopt the itinerary as is, but not creating your own stages. You only be able to access the evaluation route into the stage with a recommendation of the technical persons. Well, it has been a Speed Racer, and of course we are going to into the break and come back with the local bit of it. I think maybe I've unveiled a lot, but of course I have a guest on set that is going to do chap and get to see ourselves ready at Bomber Ground, ready to see the machines roar. Don't go away. It's a moment brought to you by Rock Boom, your #1 energy drink.